A lot of women killing their babies for their careers. Can you imagine killing your baby for your career and still be paid 30% less than a man? Can you imagine that? I mean, you can only imagine that because gender pay gap is a myth.
Yeah, exactly.
It has been debunked.
This is Nicholas DeSanto, a hilarious Christian conservative comedian. Today we're watching his full pro-life comedy set. And stick around until the end of the video because Nicholas will be on the show.
You see, people say the day my child was born was the most beautiful, the most exciting day of my life. These people have clearly never been released from an Iranian prison. Am I right? I know, I love kids. I've got two lovely kids and a wife. My wife is Austrian and vegetarian, so it's good to be here. It's good to be anywhere but home. Listen, guys, I feel there's a good vibe in this room. I feel the warmth. I feel safe, so I'm going to say something, and I don't care who hears this. I'm just going to say it, okay? I'm going to say it. Nazis were bad. There you go. I said it. It's out there. I can't take it back, can I? Nazis were bad, and they did horrible things. And one of the worst things they did was getting rid of the so-called unwanted, defective people who would have been a burden or deemed as a burden on the society, including unborn babies. I will be doing some jokes later. Don't worry about that. So all my life, I've been told that it was wrong, it was bad to get rid of unborn babies because they would have been a burden on the German Reich and its aspirations of world supremacy. But nowadays we are being told that it's good to get rid of unborn babies because they would be a burden on Karen from accounting and her aspirations of getting a promotion. I mean, I don't get that. If anything, Nazis made a better case.
Oh my God.
Bear with me on this one.
Keep in mind, he performs in the UK. He does not have First Amendment rights over there, okay? Nicholas is risking it all. It is a completely different political climate over there.
Bear with me. The Nazis would go to this unborn baby, you got to die. But why? I tell you why. Because all German-speaking folk must be reunited in one single ancestral fatherland. That's why, because the Versailles Treaty was a travesty. You don't know much about the Versailles Treaty, do you? We lost Danzig. Our territorial integrity has been interrupted. There are Germans now living under Poland, under Czechoslovakia. There are Germans living under Mussolini. Well, we kind of like Mussolini, but that's not the point. Das ist nicht der Punkt. We need to make this wrong right, and we cannot sustain the war effort if we were to take care of the likes of you. So you got to die, unless you can become a German soldier who can also speak English, because according to all future World War II movies, the Wehrmacht personnel talk English to each other. Otherwise, you got to die. Now,
that's the biggest discrepancy in all these war movies. In foreign countries, everybody just speaks English to each other. Japanese, the French, the Germans.
Fast forward to our time, you tell the unborn baby, you got to die. Why? I tell you why. Because your mom needs to continue to do after work drinks and Peloton. Do you know how much Peloton subscription costs? Because your mom is a junior events manager with Thompson & Thompson. She wants to become a senior events manager with Thompson & Thompson. What the hell is an events manager anyway? At least the Nazis had a clear, defined goal based on solid geopolitical principles. Our land is flat. We are sandwiched between Russia and France. We need to take them out. Some of you are sitting here thinking, the Nazis did make a lot of sense. This is going seriously better than it did at University of Southampton campus. Where were you when I needed you? So in the US, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and that was a serious blow to casual dating and casual sex. But it was a major victory for babies who want to live. So,
yeah,
you know, glass half full.
This is such a cold crowd for this level of comedy. If he was over here with the crowd of conservatives, we'd be jumping out of our seats.
It was a major victory for Catholic biology. Do you guys know Catholic biology? I was born in Italy. I I went to Catholic school. You know, according to progressive biology, they say my body, my choice, because according to progressive biology, a woman, at some points in her life, she has a second beating heart, an extra pair of kidneys, 4 extra limbs. But according to Catholic biology, a woman throughout her life has only one brain, one heart, and so forth. So, in other words, if you are a woman and you ever find a second beating heart in your body, it's not your body. And if you're a man and you ever find a second beating heart in your body, it's not your body. Also, you are not a man.
Yeah.
So yeah, the U.S. You know, it's a big problem for casual sex, because in these blue states, a lot of single women are angry. They're like, oh, are you telling me that tonight when I go clubbing, I need to find somebody who could potentially step up to the situation and take care of me and the baby if the baby comes up? Are you telling me that tonight when I go clubbing, before I open my legs for this total stranger, I need to first ascertain that he is responsible and kind? Thank you very much, Supreme Court. Thanks for nothing. So in America, Disney Corporation, nobody said this was going to be easy, guys. Disney Corporation is paying travel expenses for its employees so they can travel to blue states and get an abortion. I mean, Disney produces content for children, and now they're subsidizing the killing of children? I mean, it doesn't make sense. You're killing your own future customers. It's like Central London declaring war on Russian oligarchs. It makes no sense. So Disney, in a statement, Disney said, we are doing this because we understand women's reproductive rights. What we don't understand is irony.
Yeah.
But now, in America, Planned Parenthood, they're coming with mobile abortion clinics. They're using these RV wagons, turning them into mobile abortion clinics, driving close to the borders of the red states, trying to lure pregnant women to these clinics. I mean, that is some serious commitment, isn't it? Right? These people must really, really love killing black babies. Because they're all black. Mostly, every second black baby in America is aborted. Did you know that? I mean, you can try.
They're laughing at that? Why are you laughing at that?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You can try not to laugh, but you cannot not learn. Yeah. I mean, even the Nazis were not like that. They didn't come up with, their iconic Volkswagen camper vans, driving close to the Swiss border with their mobile gas chambers, trying to tempt the Swiss to give up their Jews. The Nazis had principles.
Oh my gosh.
We haven't the principle. If we conquer the land fair and square, we exterminate. Otherwise, we don't just drive and...
There is no way this video is getting monetized. Be sure to like and subscribe below. I also have a link to Nicholas's channel.
But by the way, what sort of messed up, cynical name is it? Planned Parenthood. Because there's no planning and there's no parenthood.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm planning to become a parent. Okay, let's start with killing your baby. By the time you leave the clinic, there's no parenthood. It's like I am planning my visit to Australia and I start by shredding my tickets to Australia. Doesn't make sense. But it's all about catchy names and marketing, right? Planned Parenthood sounds catchy. You have something similar concept in this country. You call it equity release. Equity release, it's like Americans are more honest about it. They call it reverse mortgage. It's when you sell your house back to the bank so you can go on cruise holidays. It's like, what do you call it? Who doesn't like equity? Who doesn't like release? Huh? It's a terrible concept. Yeah. It's like, hey, the bank comes to you, hey, have you got a house in Southeast England? Okay, good for you. Do you know your children will never have a house and their only chance of ever getting a house is this house? All right, do you have a dark sense of humor? Yeah, you're a baby boomer. Yeah, your grandfathers fought the war. Your parents rebuilt the country and then you came right in the middle of the economic boom, hence boomer. right? Bought your house for £100, went to university for free, retired at the age of 45. Yes, my friend, you deserve a lifetime of cruise ships ahead of you. Equity release. But that's what the bank does to you. It's all about marketing. Like credit card debt is such a big problem now in this country. The government is forcing banks to provide customers with money management tools. And when you consult these money management tools, some of them are actually quite horrible. You go on the bank's website, money management tool, let me see what they... Let's check this out. And it says, are you thinking of purchasing something? Have you considered not purchasing it instead? Or maybe purchase it in a smaller quantity or less frequently? Of course, the bank doesn't teach you money management. The bank has an interest to charge you interest. That is literally a conflict of interest. Thank you.
Wordplay. Nice.
Please laugh quickly. My set is short.
We appreciate you, Nicholas. We appreciate you over here in the good old US of A.
Your bank teaching you money management is like your favorite restaurant teaching you farming. Or like your local abortion clinic teaching you responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the night has a theme. I've learned that Edinburgh Fringe Festival looks favorably on comedians who have a common theme in the whole, throughout the set. Yeah, but that's what the banks do. And of course, in America, you have pro-choice and pro-life, right? So it's all about catchy names. So you go to these guys, hey, you are pro-life, right? Like, what's this all about? Yeah, we are pro-life, so we want the baby to live. So you mean the mother dies? No, the mother doesn't die. We are pro-life. The father dies? Nobody dies. We are pro-life, okay? Got it? It seems very reasonable. Thank you. Let me check out these other guys as well. I'll come back to you. But I'm on to you guys. All right. So you guys, you are pro-choice. Whose choice is this? The mother's choice, of course. What about the baby? The baby doesn't get a choice. And the father? The father doesn't get a choice either.
Yep.
All right. Now, this choice you keep bringing up, what is this really? Oh, I'm glad you asked. The choice is that of chopping the limbs of the baby one by one and then suctioning the whole thing out with a vacuuming device. Oh my God!
Yep.
I think, excuse me. I think I'm going with these guys. And I thought the worst thing you can do to your kids is equity release.
Nice.
I wish I could do this in my country of birth, Italy, but Italians are less into killing their babies. And also, we have a bigger problem. In Italy, we don't have stand-up because the weather is nice outside. So I love it here because the British have the best sense of humor. You know, when you think about it, I know Radu was talking about it earlier. It's true, you have the best sense of humor because if my country also had won both world wars and was still smaller and poorer than Germany,
With allies'
I would
help.
want to have a bloody good laugh about it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight here we made history. You've just seen the world's only pro-life stand-up act.
Probably.
Which means you have just seen the world's funniest pro-life stand-up act. So, if nothing else works out for you in your lives, nobody can take this from you tonight. It's so easy to be on top of your field as a right-wing comedian when the field is very much a desert, right?
Yep.
People say you are so brave. I'm just lazy. Anyways, you've been a wonderful audience. I have been the funniest Italian-Iranian comic you've ever seen. Thank you very much. Take care.
We got Nicholas Santo here with us. Thanks for being on the show, Nicholas.
Thanks for having me, CV. Very great to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Nicholas comes to us from across the pond, so it's a little bit later at night for him. So appreciate you coming on the show, getting the kids to bed, and hopping on here with me for a little bit.
My pleasure. I bumped into your good channel. A friend of mine recommended that, and I saw you had so many great conservative or non-woke comics featured, and I thought, okay, I'd reach out because I need to make myself known to the US public. I have a lot of American fans on my YouTube channel, obviously population-wise, and also in terms of the values and the whole new vibe, or the conservative vibe, ever since Trump victory and all that, total up diametrically opposed to the atmosphere we are experiencing here in the UK. So I'm very grateful to be featured and to appear on your channel. It helps me a lot in terms of getting myself known to a wider audience in America.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the vibes over in the UK, how receptive are they to conservative comedy over there?
Of course, there is variation. Obviously, I live in London, so metropolitan, woke, elitist vibe, as you can imagine, kind of New York, Portland. You need to find the right pockets of audiences where you can find a favorable crowd. But on the other hand, it's also a good challenge because you don't always want to be preaching to the converted, right?
Right, right.
As the saying goes, you don't want it too easy. You don't want it to become a bit like a political rally. Everybody agrees with you. So sometimes you have to, make your bones, so to speak, where hostile audiences are.
Yeah.
And even those videos, this is the beauty of YouTube, because even when I bomb or there's awkward silences, people on YouTube are like, "Yeah, we love it, we enjoy it. Stick it to these liberals." And sometimes I make fun of the situation because you need to have a save if some joke doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
And my save is usually like, "Don't worry, people on YouTube are going to like this." And then people on YouTube in the comment section say, "Yeah, he's talking about us. We are here for you, brother."
Yeah, I think when I was watching your video, I was just commenting, hey, if you're over here, we would be laughing out of our seats at this, but it's like people are too quiet for these level of jokes. I mean, they're so great. But yeah, like you said, we've got to present to all audiences, not just conservatives, which, I do get a lot of comments because I say only conservatives will laugh at this comedian. And then all these comments are like, I'm not conservative, but this is funny. This is just funny because funny is funny. So I read a little bit of your bio. So you used to work for the BBC. You've been banned from some comedy clubs over in London. So my big question, Nicholas, is why do you continue doing this Christian, pro-life, more right-leaning comedy when it's closing a lot of doors for you?
Thanks for the question. I always liked comedy and stand-up, and I was myself, English was not my first language. I was fascinated with languages, language learning. I speak a few languages myself, used to be a translator, an English teacher, an Italian teacher. And I thought, okay, I give it a go as a hobby. I didn't set out to be necessarily a conservative comics, maybe right from the start. It was always bound to come out because they say go to your strengths, and comedy has to come from a true place, and you need to have a voice. A recognition that I have reached is because I stood out, because people would come to me after a show and say, "Wow, I haven't heard anything like this for a while," or "Sorry, I didn't laugh because my girlfriend was sitting next to me, but this is wonderful," right? So,
Yeah.
so I started doing this, and of course, it was a very political time. I mean, I was very much politics oriented. I mean, who was I kidding? I wasn't going to do, although I love, mainstream comics. People who don't do politics, like in the U.S., you have Brian Regan.
Mhm.
I love him, but I was very much politics oriented because I had come from a place originally, a dictatorship in the Middle East. And then I had returned to the West where I was born. Then I was in the UK at the height of Brexit. And I started in 2017, right on the back of Donald Trump's victory. And then we had Roe v. Wade. And then we had the abortion referendum in Ireland, just next door to us here, which won. And I was looking at this ocean of young, relatively attractive women in the streets celebrating, and I was kind of baffled by this. So, and I started experimenting with a few pro-life jokes, and that got me banned from a bunch of clubs. I was a full-time, permanent journalist, later senior journalist with BBC World Service. I was on TV. The disenchantment kicked in because I thought I thought I was going to be spreading the voice of the free and liberal West, and by liberal I mean liberal in the noble sense of the term. But instead, I'm just a cog in this machine of lies and cultural Marxist propaganda. And of course, I joined in 2009. I left at 2022 because of my comedy, and we had, as I said, Brexit, we had Trump, we had LGBT, we had climate change, and all these areas. I became disillusioned. So comedy, I thought, okay, if I can do comedy to feel like I'm serving a good purpose, and I asked myself, does the world really need another comedian who talks about Tinder or dating or shopping? Because others are doing it, and I admire those guys because it's so difficult to make these everyday things nowadays because there's so much competition, right? And again, I joke and I say, look, the reason I'm a conservative comic is because I'm not good at this. I'm not a good comic, so I don't have any competition. Any lineup, I say, you guys have been a bit uncomfortable. I have been the funniest conservative comic of the night. And it's always true, almost always true, because I've been the only one anyway, right? But there's some truth to that. Take time away from your family and your kids to do these gigs for next to no pay, sometimes cash neutral.
Cash
You
neutral.
might as well do something that no one else is doing, and people come and say or write and say from across the globe, thanks to social media. Oh, thank you for saying these things because no one else is doing it. So I guess that is my motivation. I'm already too deep to go back. I had to leave the BBC job, so this is what I do, and I think maybe in 50 years time or 100 years time, people will look back at my videos on YouTube and say, "Oh, this guy was doing this stuff in the UK at a time when they were jailing people for memes and silent prayers outside abortion clinics."
Well, you're doing noble work, and social media is such an incredible tool that it's brought us together. You over in the UK, me over in America, and, we're sharing an experience together. Over here, we call it the silent majority. It's those people that are hungry for right-leaning comedy. They've been told to be quiet and shut up and not say anything against the left. And now it's like, let's get out into the light and let's laugh again at things that are possibly offensive to Hollywood or whatever, but things that are actually funny. Let's let funny be funny again. So Nicholas, you've said you've come to America before. Any plans on coming back and we can see you somewhere here?
Well, I don't have immediate plans, but I have reached out to a couple of comics that I like, conservative, Christian, or both. And I said, look, this is me, this is my work. Maybe I can join you on your tour, do open some shows for you. So I'm examining the territory to see which areas. Many people from across America tell me, "Oh, you got to come to Florida. You got to come to Seattle.
Yeah.
If they all lived in the
Seattle.
same city, it would have been perfect." But yeah, I would very much love to visit the U.S. Nothing planned right now, but I'm grateful for your channel to make me heard. So maybe I can explore some new avenues, or if anybody knows of any venues or is in a town where they think there might be a good reception, I'm up for it.
Okay, so for my followers, let's do two things to support Nicholas here. Number one, in the description down below, we've got his YouTube channel and his Etsy store. That's the number two thing. You can actually buy this shirt that he's wearing, and he'll tell you a little bit about it. But maybe that can help him come across over to the land of the free, home of the brave. Tell us a little bit about that t-shirt.
And I almost became jealous of my T-shirt because it looked like my T-shirt did better than my routine. There are three crosses and the Lion of St. Mark. So these are the four coats of arms of four Italian medieval marine republics, four naval forces that fought against the invasion of the Ottoman Turks in the Middle Ages. And to this date, basically today, they have become the coat of arms of the Italian merchant flag and navy flag. So beautiful design and beautiful story behind it. And predictably, my audience kind of clicked it. clicked well with it. They asked on YouTube, "Oh, where can we get this T-shirt?" So I thought, okay, with my friend who is a graphic designer, we will create different variations of this T-shirt and put it on my Etsy shop. I was, kind of flirting with the idea of starting merch, some catchphrases, some one-liners, and such. And I thought, okay, this is a good excuse to jump on it and give it a go.
Oh, Nicholas, you speak English better than I do, and I've been speaking it my whole life. So kudos to
You're very
you.
kind.
You can find Nicholas's YouTube channel down below. Let's go and support him. Go subscribe, if nothing else, just to show that you support conservative, right-leaning comedy. And hopefully we'll see Nicholas a lot more on the channel.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me, Stevie.